Well, slowly bringing the club down really forces you to be. Hello all, it's May 14th, 2025, around 6:30. Was it 6:30? No, 6:45. And today I'm going to work out with pretty much everything that I have in my backyard, with somewhat of a focus on inside and outside rotations. So inside rotation is whenever our inside and outside throwing patterns. So is when it's like rotating towards the center of the body, and then outside is when it's going away from the center of the body. So yeah, it's good to train all those aspects of the body. The body is capable of a lot of rotation, not just sagittal plane work, which is like all your overhead like strict overhead pressing and all of that stuff. And I mean, anyone that's into maces and stuff already kind of knows about this stuff, I guess. But it's like when people just do bodybuilding or powerlifting style stuff at the gym, these aspects get ignored. So anyway, besides the point. Yeah, so with the steel mace, I'm going to do a single-handed 360 to inside rotation. We're going to do this 10 times. Switching sides. So this one's actually quite brutal on grip strength and the wrists as well, because that action of kind of dropping it and then like rotating at the wrist to direct that momentum back to straight requires quite a bit of forearm strength. And then not only that, just like manipulating the mace the whole way through requires a lot of shoulders and back. Then with my 45-pound kettlebell, it's adjustable, but it's at 45 pounds. Going to do outside rotation clean, outside rotation press. Doing 5 each side of that. So yeah, with the maces I was doing inside rotations, and with the kettlebell I was doing outside rotations. So I guess you kind of get the idea of what that means. And yeah, it's just the capacity of the body to do these things, and it's good to train it. Yeah, anyway, doing 4 sets of that. On to the next thing. So for the next set of movements, I'm going to start off with the club. So using my 15-pound club. So what I'm going to do is, what are we doing? Yeah, facing the outside, I'm going to do an inside rotations or outside rotation snatch. So, and then leave it up there and slowly descend it down. The act of holding up the club requires a lot of stability. Going for 6. By the end of it, I feel a pretty good burn in my shoulders, but also a lot in the forearms. The act of holding it up like that is really difficult. And I don't know if, so in kettlebells, they do this exercise where they hold the kettlebell upside down by the handle. And so that's like to promote shoulder stability, because the weight can tip over and you have to keep your shoulders extremely stable in order to make sure that that doesn't happen. Similar concept with this, except yeah, there's a lot more forearm going on, and then there's the rotation before the snatch, which requires a lot of core. And that act of like slowly bringing the club down really forces you to be very mentally aware of how the shoulder muscles are firing. Like I'm really able to connect with the upper chest, anterior delts, traps. Yeah, so if you have clubs, it's a really cool exercise. Yeah, doing snatches with the clubs aren't easy. Isn't easy? Isn't easy. Then with my 25-pound kettlebell, so I was doing an outside rotation snatch with the club. With this I'm going to do an inside rotation snatch. So it looks like this. So I think at this point this movement is pretty self-explanatory. Going for 8 each side. Between both these complexes, the shoulders get a really good burn. As I get tired, I find myself relaxing a little bit at the core. And I'm right now taking a moment to kind of reset myself, because it's never good to lose your focus and then do, like, even though the movement might look proper outwardly, inwardly the movement doesn't feel as proper as it should. So like when I'm doing it, I'm really focusing on like tightening at the core, and then as I got tired, I felt like my hips were starting to disengage, which is a recipe for building imbalances. And so during an entire set, I try to stay very aware of how the muscles are firing in my body, and then when I notice a discrepancy from how it should be firing, I do try to reset more often than not. It's very easy to kind of like forget about it sometimes, but it is what it is. Then I mentioned earlier I was going to do lower body, so doing 5 alternating single arm sumo deadlifts with my 48 kilogram 106 pound kettlebell for 5 on each hand. And then going to do 5 kettlebell 2-handed clean 2 goblet squat. So looks like this. So yeah, this is what I'm doing for now. A quad set, starting off kind of smooth but then ending with something heavier, doing 4 sets of this and on to the next thing. So for the next set of things, starting with the lower body complex, using my 45 pound kettlebell, I thought I could go heavier today, but my energy levels aren't that high. I've been on pretty low calories over the past week or so, and it's slowly starting to, I guess, have an effect on my daily energy levels. But I do want to keep the low calories going for a while longer. I am trying to shed some more body fat, and yeah, the only way to kind of do it is by reducing calorie intake. Anyway, with the 45 pound kettlebell, going to do a snatch to lunge to squat, thruster, drop and repeat. Sometimes even when energy levels are real low, just the act of doing a movement, even if it's not as heavy as you can go, has good effects on the body. I'm a big believer in staying active every day. And even if energy levels are low, it's good to do something. I just made the same point, I think 2 or 3 times, using different words. Then, this is a movement that I came across on Mark Wildman's page a few months ago. It's like a cross-body mill. So, typically, a mill goes inside and outside rotation, but this is like cross-body, and it looks like this. I'm going to add a squat to it too. So, I'm going to keep my right leg forward, right leg forward, left leg kind of like in a kickstand position, and mill, cross the body, and squat. Going 5 on each side. I'm going to do it from a side angle. So, drop forward, middle. So yeah, this is what I'm doing as my 3rd set of movements. I'm doing 4 sets of this, and then probably a juggling session after. On to some juggling and cat. I don't know, I felt like I was kind of low today, in the sense that not as talkative. And I think, so usually when you're low on calories, your body subconsciously tries to conserve energy. So like, while sitting around, you might not jitter as much, or you might not be as fidgety as you usually might be. And like over the past couple of days, I've kept my calorie intake really low, and I've noticed that just in general, I feel like just lazing around a little bit more, and getting myself out to work out and stuff is a lot more of a chore than it usually is. But you know, stuff like this comes with the territory, and all of this is temporary, and stuff. I know that I'm not going, like, if I feel low energy for too long, I'll usually have a high calorie day or something like that, and then I'll go back down again. So I'll probably do a high calorie sometime this weekend, but not super high calorie. I never do like cheat days or anything like that. I just eat more than usual. But yeah, I don't really talk much about how and what I eat on the channel, but maybe there are past episodes in which I've done that, but maybe in the future too. All right, juggling. That was pretty good, but failed on the behind the back tap back on the right side. There's another move where people do a tap back and then catch it. That's probably the next thing I want to master or learn. But something about juggling brings the energy out. Like, it's very easy. Well, not easy. Like, your body ends up getting lost in the act of juggling and doesn't concentrate on the force output as much. And then you end up feeling that energetic self again. Like, I feel my energetic self coming back. You know what? I also didn't sleep very well, so that could be it too. It might not just be the calories. Try to get cheeky with that one. I'm gonna make one more attempt before I call it a day. That's probably gonna be it. Yeah, going to head to the park and do some abs on the monkey bars and stuff. And that'll be it for today. Apologies if I came across a little low today, but that's all for today's video. See you all in the next one.